The golden child.
The golden child is back. And speaking of golden children, we've got
Give
Brett
me
Pearsons.
the knife. That's my impression from...
You can't afford it. He can't afford it. He can't afford it because you are on the welfare. All right.
Oh, dropped it.
We're talking about Eddie Murphy. Lorenzo.
Yes, we are back with part 2 of a man who's so effing deep that he requires a part 2.
It's very kind.
A lot to get to. Brett Pearsons is still here. He hasn't left yet.
No.
He's actually committed to part 2.
Well, my ride's still here, so...
That's true. He came in. That's true. You cannot leave unless you want to Uber home, which you can.
I have terrible luck with Uber. And
You do.
Tell him the Uber story.
So the 2 times I've done Uber by my... Oh, I've done it 4 times. The first 2 times, they dropped me off at the wrong place.
And he didn't tell them.
And I didn't know how to tell them. I just thought, this is how it happens, I guess.
Do you not know it's the wrong place? Can't you say, hey, I'm in the wrong place?
Well, I say, they just said, okay, here we are. I'm like, well, my house is... All right, thank you.
Brett has Chauncey Gardner-like
Yes.
tendencies.
I see.
And
well, if we garden in the summer,
Yeah.
then I can get to my house in the winter.
Yeah. Oh, that guy got lots of wisdom.
Okay.
He got lots of pearls of wisdom, drops.
Okay.
And he also gave me 2 bottles of lotion.
Your Uber driver? He gave you bottles of lotion.
He said, oh, you're such a good guy. I'm going to give you a bottle of lotion.
And I'll put it on you
They
right
have
now.
a lot of side hustles, if I recall, the Uber drivers.
I've never had an Uber driver give me lotion in my life.
That's the first 2 times.
Wow.
Then the third time, it was to your place. And I think it...
Was that Jackass Forever Day?
Yeah. And so I think I got there okay. It was fine. But on the way back, I took an edible.
I made the mistake of giving Brett a 5 sativa. Brett is not a stoner. He doesn't do marijuana. It
Wow.
did not work out well.
It didn't work out.
He
freaked out.
He was
That's a
worried
lot.
that his shoes... It's not a lot.
5?
5?
But for
well,
somebody
for a
who's a
beginner,
lightweight, yeah.
that was on me.
5? I thought it was 30.
I
I'm telling
should
people it was 30.
have cut it in quarters.
Yes.
I should have get it. I don't know do math, but okay, hold on. So there's a 2.5. What's half of 2.5?
125?
125 is what I should have given him.
Yes.
But I gave him a full fiver, and
I thought
he
it was
was flipping.
I
out.
was flipping out. I was actually had tunnel vision, and I was like,
Wow.
I was convinced because they both had like
I
kind of
felt
like,
really bad.
You were hallucinating.
I wasn't hallucinating so much, but I couldn't see outside of like my peripheral vision, and also they both had like slipper shoes on, and I didn't have my shoes on, and I was like, why can't I have my shoes on? And I freaked out. Then I thought my feet were going to get eaten by bugs or something. So I had
And
to
then a
have
great
them on.
white shark was going to come out of the air conditioning
Swimming pool.
filter.
And I'm like, of course that's going to happen because
Right.
the air conditioning, there's some water filtration
Absolutely.
in there, right?
And then all of a sudden Jaws comes back. And it's all tying into KK Pool and everything.
Yeah, KK Pool.
Oh, man. Okay, so no gummies for you and no Uber for you. So you're here
No more weed.
for the duration of part 2.
Totally,
I
yeah.
have to ask you a question.
Yes.
We're shifting from your Master of the Macabre and your upcoming radio show, which is going to be great, to something that's near and dear to my heart, which is music. You are a wonderful bass player, mandolin player. You've been in the band for, it's 20 years old now? It's a long time.
Yeah.
They're called-
well, it's not. Wait, yeah.
It's got to be.
I started in '95.
That makes sense. They're called the Four Postmen. For anyone listening, Google the Four Postmen. There's a lot of music online, a lot of videos. They've been around for a long time. They're fantastic.
Very
Brett,
kind.
well, it's the truth. I've seen you guys. I'm not just saying it to say it. They're great. And it's just a very, very fun musical night. And, you know, you're an actor, and I think obviously there's a playwright in the band. And Stefan Marks, and just 4 very creative people. It's a very creative, fun, funny.
5 of us.
5 of us.
Yeah, because that's what it's called.
Tell him
That's
what
right.
happened
I
when
forgot.
it was a trio
5.
and you came in as the bone and the dog.
Oh,
Tell that real quick, and then he can go on.
Originally, it was 3 people. It was Stefan Marks, Ken Weiner, and Matt Kaminsky, and they were the 4 postmen.
Yes.
And they all dressed up like a postman, but he never wanted to have the number match up with the amount of people that were on stage. But they said, let's get a drummer. Let's get more serious about this. Stefan didn't want that. He's the creator. This is his brainchild.
Okay.
It all came from, by the way, when he was at school in Moore Park College. and he was sitting there working on a paper or something like that, and he was in the costume department. And he looked up, and he saw 4 Postman outfits, and went, "I want to make a band called the 4 Postmen."
Wow.
Wow.
That's
It basically wrote itself.
Yeah, and the idea of being like the 4 Seasons and like the 4 Tops and stuff like that.
Right.
So going on that whole thing.
Right.
So he wanted to have the 3 Postmen be the 4 Postmen, and then he said, "Let's add a drummer." So, but he didn't want to make that person a postman, so they were the dog. So they were all black and dog. So because that's like their adversary.
Yeah, in
Right.
the LA Times.
And of course, the
I read
drummer is the dog.
He's the dog. And yes, because you are a drummer.
I
Lorenzo.
am.
But also,
I am
read
not a dog. I want to say that publicly.
No. I don't want to be your dog. And now I did it wrong. And now I want to be your dog. Although if Lorenzo was singing that Iggy Pop song, it'd be, and now I want to be your dog. The point is,
How come I'm Salman Rushdie whenever time you...
I read an article
I love
where
your work,
dog
by the way.
attacks
Thank you
on
very much.
postmen.
Very thoughtful.
Thank you
Dog
so much.
attacks
I lost
on-
my eye last week, by the way.
I know. I'm
Dog
sorry.
that
attacks
was
on
kind of a drag.
postmen
Keep
these
an eye out.
days
Thank you.
are at an all-time high in Los Angeles. Go on. And then...
Oh, and then Stefan was like going, "Hey, I'm guitar shopping. You want to come with me?" So I said, "All right, let's just go guitar shopping." And I went and I said, "Oh, I always want to play the bass. I'm going to get a bass." So I bought a bass, and then he went, "Do you want to be the bass player for the Postman?"
And you never played bass prior to that? No shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so I learned.
Because you're
and so-
an excellent bass player.
Thank you very kindly. I sat with Stefan, and the thing that's very interesting about the band is everyone is a music writer. So they all have different ways of creating the music. And so I learned different techniques of playing the bass from the different writers of the band.
That's great. So that was your school.
Yeah.
That's
and so
really great.
Stefan has a really like he has crazy bass lines. Like that's a crazy bass line because it doesn't really it's not you're hitting roots but so many passing tones.
Right.
And then Matt's very traditional. And it's like going like, "Hey, do it like this," and he writes out stuff and you're going to do this passing tone but then go to here, and I mean, and they're all very like collaborative. So it's like I can change things. And then Ken's just like going, "Just do whatever, play whatever's going on there." So he's got his whole thing. And then Jeff always he gives me stuff that's like he always tries to challenge me because he gives me stuff that's very complicated and then he sometimes simplifies it or leaves it complicated depending upon if I can get it.
I see.
Because he's a jazz musician.
I see.
So his stuff is like really tough, but it's like, and so I just learn. And then I also learned that we have a shorthand now. So when someone comes in with a song, I go, "Oh, you're going to want this."
Yeah, because you know everyone's personality.
Yeah.
After 20 years,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like a machine now.
Yeah. And so now it's like, we have a great shorthand. So it's like, I know what you want. I know how to do that. And so like, and depending upon the song too, because like Stefan with his faster songs, or if it's very lyric heavy, bass has got to be very simplified and very low, like play with like the
Sure, you can't
dynamics.
step on what he's doing.
Can't. And so also for his ballads, really open strings, just like he wants a cello.
Right. Almost like droning in a way.
Yeah. And so I mean, I want to figure out the reason why you can play a bow with an upright bass is because it's rounded. And with the electric bass, it's straight. So you can only really use a bow on the, I guess you just on the high and the low string. So that's like I want to mess with that too. But for now,
No, but what about you?
Still.
You're saying everyone brings in songs, which is great. But do you bring in songs?
I do bring in songs.
So then they have to learn the way you write now.
Yes, I think I have to.
I directed the video for "Wish It Away." It's
Yes.
a
I
great
saw that.
song. Yeah.
I saw
Yes,
that. That was cool.
Which is awesome. I knew I'd be in good hands with you directing
yeah.
that. And so I think I have the biggest track record of bringing in songs that get played once or twice. Just in a band. So like I think because like Ken will bring in a song and we'll play for a while and then he'll just go I'm done with that. We don't play it anymore.
So songs don't have a shelf life with you guys. Oh, no kidding.
Sometimes
so
they
right
come
now,
back.
in gigs, you're not playing songs you wrote 20 years ago.
We do. Some songs do stay.
Okay.
Some songs have the staying power. But some songs are just like, we play it a couple times, didn't get a great response, and then they just don't get brought up again.
I see.
So
That never happened.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So, I've brought that up too. I go, hey, why don't we ever play Bliss again? And they go, what? I go, Bliss's song. Remember, Stefan, you didn't want to play the middle part because it goes, the bridge goes into 7/8 time, and you go, I don't want to do 7/8 time, so you just don't play it. And then it's like, nope, and credit to the band, they'll always play it at least once, maybe
Live.
twice. They go, we're gonna play it, we're gonna learn it, we're gonna play it, and see how it goes.
Now, what if a song, because I've been in bands for a long time, so what if a song gets a great response, but the 5 of you guys don't like it? Would you still play it?
Oh, that's half our repertoire. No. It's like no. It's usually like it's never like if no one likes a song and it gets a great response. That's such a weird thing. That's never really happened. Usually, a song will be played and it gets a great response, and some of the people like the song in the band and some don't, and we just go, what's the majority of the band want to do?
Okay,
we'll do that.
So there is a democracy rule dynamic. I think you kind of have to, unless you're Sting and it's your band and you're the songwriter. Unless you're an amazing,
Yes.
if it is a collective of people, if people want to stay together
Yeah.
working, you have to have a democracy.
I mean, Stefan's very good about. I mean, it really is his brainchild, and
Right,
he,
but he's open. He's giving people power.
he totally gives that stuff up.
That's
and he even
great.
says his own
That's great.
songs with his own songs. Though, do you guys like it or not? Because if you don't like it, we don't play it.
That's great. That's
And
great.
because he can always do a solo show,
Right.
and so
And he
it's
can always cancel your check. So
he can, he can totally do that.
Yeah.
But so everyone's really good on that, and it's like, yeah. So that's yeah. I got to give him credit for that. He's just really because this was his idea, and it used to be the majority of his songs.
right.
He
But
used to
he,
write.
he doesn't have an ego about it.
He really doesn't.
So
He
you're
really
lucky,
gives
man.
up. Totally lucky. Because
Wow.
he could just go, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that.
Exactly.
And-
He could be, I'm the leader. It's my brainchild, and you probably wouldn't want to be with him for 20 years. So hey,
Well-
kudos to Stefan. Stefan,
I'm
is-
kind of stuck in the relationship.
Yeah.
We can't do
Is
anything
it
else.
fair
So
to Is it fair to say that the Four Postmen has brought you brotherhood, musical kinship, joy and laughter, and pain?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But mainly, we get the laughs and the good times. And when we're really, I mean, it's great. Like, Matt did this thing where someone's getting married and they wanted to do the song. And so he wrote the song up for them. And we just got together. And after we, sat down for the first time, playing it, recorded it, mixed it. And then afterwards, Matt was like, oh, that's amazing. We years ago, that would have taken a few days or weeks, and we did it in a couple hours because we just knew that's what you want. Great, okay, follow you on that. Okay, I don't know, are we doing the click on this? No, okay, great. I'm watching you on that. Count me in. And so we're just
Is that like a
watching each other.
musical shorthand, or?
Yeah, it's basically like when we can talk about if we say we're writing something or we're working on something, and you go, it's a five assholes moment, and I go, I know what you mean. I know what to do.
But it comes with two things. In my experience, it comes with years of being with somebody, but it comes with trust. And it really is about trust, and trust is built over years, and friendship, of course. But if you're in a band and you actually trust the people, then you can take their ideas, you can take their opinions, even though it might, conflict with your own.
Yep.
But you trust him. Maybe he's right. I'll do what he says. And you can all really get things done quicker. Get things done with much more fun.
Yeah.
And you can just get things done.
Yeah.
As opposed to we're arguing so much, it's taking us a month to write a song because we can't agree on anything. And
Yeah,
and
I
I've
think
been
the
there.
biggest bands could learn from both of you how to survive a
Yeah.
bunch of guys with different creative ideas.
It gets into it really once we're it's like, well, what's his intro? Should it be like this thing? It's like, no, I like it when you just start on the G and then we'll join in. Or it's like, no, it should be like, go to G, then go to D, and then we'll come in, or we should all start together. That's how it should be. And then the end. Should we extend this chorus? I mean, there's a song that we do called Perfect, and Jeff, our drummer, was we got to do that chorus again. It's too good. He's all, I like ending it it's kind of like this kind of haunting ending, drifting off way. And Jeff's like, it's too good. You got to do the chorus. So
And you trust him. And you went, okay, Jeff.
and then Stefan's all, he doesn't want the song to be that way, I don't think. But he goes, that's what the band wants. We're going to do it that way. And so he does a count in, and then we do the end of that song, and it sounds great. I prefer it that way because I think it's a great song, and it's just and he just went, yeah, okay, then that's what we're going to do.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's great. And basically everyone is happy, and everybody gets to feel like they have ownership of the music. And any band, really famous or not, that's been around for 20 years plus, kudos to you for working it all out. Because the bottom line is you're not robots, you're people.
Yeah.
And people have egos and people have agendas and blah, blah, blah. And, you worked it all out. And at the end of the day, you guys are all friends.
We're all friends, and that's the friendship is the foundation.
That's really great.
You got to have that. Otherwise, all that trust and all that like leading, going like, I don't like this song, but I'm going to play it anyway.
Right.
And
it's different if you're in a big band and you're getting $1 million, to play the song,
True, but I think that especially with smaller, more intimate theaters, that audience can smell the stink.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, if you're like, oh, you're just doing this.
And if you're on stage and you don't like each other, you can't fake that. People will be saying they hate each other.
Yeah.
And if you're not having fun on stage, why would anybody want to have fun with you in the audience?
Yeah.
Because
that's what you want to do. It's
of course. So you just want to have a good time.
I think any performance is like, it's the kind of thing where like, okay, do you want to hang out with me for a couple hours? It's like being at a party and you go, am I stuck with this person? Or, oh my gosh, this is kind of a fun time. This is a good thing. And that's what any kind of performance, be it a play, be it a stand-up routine, be it a concert. It's like, do you want to hang out in that environment? Is that the party? Are you going to gravitate? I want to go over and talk to them, actually, not this person.
Right.
That's the person. That's the band. That's the performance you want to give, I think.
I agree. And people walk away and think, wow, I've had a great time. And they kind of, even if they don't even know you, they're like, I wouldn't mind getting to know them. I mean, they're really cool. And I want to go see them again and hang out with them.
So let me ask you something.
Yeah.
So you've been in a bunch of bands.
Yeah.
And so this is something that happens to me that's kind of odd. It's like someone comes sees your show, sees you perform, and you're like, oh, okay, this is very cool. And then, but, they're spending an hour watching you. They're spending an hour connecting with you. And then hours build up after a certain amount of shows, and then after the performance, you meet with them, and they feel like they know you, yet you don't know them so much because you saw them one time. Thanks for coming to the show or something like that.
Right.
Do you have that? Do you get that?
Sometimes. Feeling? I mean, basically, I had a show a couple gigs ago, and I'm the drummer, and I'm in the back, and most of the time, I've had many times where show's over, and then I put my stuff in my car, and I go back in the audience, and people will come up and go, hey, did you see that band? They were really good. They don't even know that I was the drummer in the band. Yeah. But I had a guy, I was coming off, he's like, dude, I was watching you play, man. I love your playing, and you're one of the drummers that I've been wanting to see in this town because I'm not from here, and can I buy you a drink, and can I help you, and, when you playing again, what's your name, and can I buy you food? I thought he wanted to go out and date or something.
Yeah.
And it was honoring, but I got to be honest with you, it was actually kind of weird.
Yeah.
I felt like, do I deserve this? I mean, I didn't feel like I played that great that night, but he got what I was trying to do, and
right.
It was honoring, and still I felt like I wanted to have some distance and not like, I don't know if I want to get to know all of my fans all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a very strange thing of like, and so what always makes me curious is like when people go, I want to be famous, or when they become famous, because there's a bit of a change with your lifestyle.
Right.
If you can't go to the store anymore without being recognized, without being addressed or accosted. And it's like, and different people can have different kind of requests. They go, hey, you did great work. Or can you sign something for me? Right. Or can I have a selfie? Or can you come and can you record a message for me on my phone or something like that? So it's like, can you call my buddy? So it's like, it's a very strange thing, fame.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I mean, when this guy was giving me, it was like I so appreciated it.
Right, because you gave him a gift. You gave him some joy.
I kept thanking him, but did I actually want to hang out? I kind of didn't. No disrespect to that person, but
exactly.
I just felt like I did my job. I get my drums in my car, and I should go.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's like I guess it's almost like we're doing the one night stands.
Right, exactly.
But they want to stay
That's
and
right.
cuddle all night and
Yes.
go breakfast. You know what? I'm off
Exactly.
breakfasts right now.
Right.
I'm micro fasting.
Right.
So.
How do you want your eggs, Lorenzo? Well,
Like
I don't.
at home by myself.
Yeah.
That's how I do eggs.
Exactly. That's a good point. I don't think that I am a post-show cuddler. I don't think I am. I think I want to play and kind of like throw my money on the dresser and leave. You know.
But I do. But I do have the moments when it is that kind of thing where I do want to hang out and go, oh, this is kind of nice. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's a instinct thing where you go, this is going to be fine. They're maybe a little drunk, and so I can have a drink with them and just kind of talk from bed, and then I can move away or something like that. So I think it's a field thing too.
Okay. All right. That's true. You take it as it comes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every show really is different.
Every show and
show.
every patron.
Yes.
And they could be having an off night too, where they're feeling
Sure.
really bad, and they go, "Hey,
Right.
I really needed this."
Right.
I know we did. There was when I was in the Celt punk band, the Mighty Regis, and I remember this guy came up to us afterwards and was just going like, I've been having a really bad time, and family members have died off, and my dog just died today, and I just really needed this. I think he might have been the guy that came up on stage with a bottle of Jameson and shared it with us.
Wow.
And then he had to be escorted out. but it's like he just walked up on stage and go, "Hey, yeah."
Right.
It's very hard. Yeah.
But then you realize, God, this is actually why we do this.
Yeah.
You touched him. You know, and you don't know when that's going to happen.
No,
Good
you
for
don't.
you.
Yeah, you can. And that's something actually. Again, Stefan, he did teach me that. Like I remember I was doing a play, one man show called Full Body Cavity Search, and one of my characters was the Grim Reaper's death, and then like he had this big old cape, and then I had this little magic trick where I was carrying a box underneath the cape, and I stood up and then grew to like 9 feet tall. And I'm telling about how it's uncomfortable to be deaf, and this is really a bad thing, and I'm lonely, and all I give to people is sorrow. And the audience laughed every time I did it. And I talked to Stefan. I said, like, I don't get it. I'm saying this really profound thing about how death is also sad too, even though we get punished by it. And he said, like, you can't judge the audience.
Right.
However they react is however they react.
Right.
And so from then on, I was just like, oh, right. Okay. Yeah. And now it's like, so however anybody reacts, a fan, whatever, it's like, that's their reaction. That's what they get from it.
Yeah, and it's all valid.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's all valid.
even on nights where you feel like, hey, we are hitting it, we are on, and then you hear the sound of one hand clapping. You're like, why are we getting it and they're not?
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
And the opposite, you feel like, oh God, did we suck? And everyone says, you were great.
And it was like, that was the most amazing show.
You were fantastic.
I don't think I played any right note.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, the drummer was playing in 16 the whole night. You know.
Because they're getting a different experience that you're getting.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
doesn't have to be the
And it's
same.
all good. You just say thank you.
Yeah.
You know, you say thanks a lot, and then you go home and go, God, did I suck?
Yeah. Then that's a long night.
Yeah.
Do you have the adrenaline crash after you perform a show?
100%.
Yes. I had to learn that.
You know, I number one, I never eat before I play. So when I'm done, I am starving. So I'm exhausted, but I'm hungry and
Yeah.
I'm still wired.
Yeah.
It's kind of this weird dualism where I'm wired, exhausted, but hungry. And then I eat and I drink wine and I go really up, and then I crash and I completely just want to fall down. You know.
Well, I would
then I want to wake up and do it all over again. You know.
Right, but I would get so depressed and start getting down on myself and spiral.
Oh,
because
I used to only when I effed up, only when I felt like I didn't play well. Are you that way every show?
I go through an adrenaline crash, and so what happens is I used to go after a show and go, I suck. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm worthless. I can't do anything, and I would go spiral hard, and it was like a really bad thing. Till I realized that, like, after a show, you know, you have that, you're doing it, and then afterwards, all the endorphins are all gone, and so you're just crashing. And so in that state, I paralleled it with my psychic energy, and so I just had to go, oh, it's separate. I'm just having the adrenaline crash. I'm just tired.
Right.
So once I was able to get out of that, then I wasn't judging myself and like I need to replan my career goals.
Right. Well, I mean, you basically had to separate psychology from physiology in a way.
Exactly.
But it took you years, I'm sure, to figure that out.
It did.
Yeah.
Therapy helps.
Therapy does help. And I'm sure probably in the process of figuring out, there's probably a lot of Jameson going on.
The Jameson came later.
Oh, really?
The Jameson came with the Kelp punk band.
Okay.
This happened a lot with the Four Postmen before I was really drinking at all.
Okay.
And so I just would like go home and go.
Were you hitting it pretty hard?
Hitting it pretty hard with the Jameson?
Yeah.
Oh, and the Kelp punk band?
Yeah.
I don't know how we survived.
No kidding.
I don't know how. We were going through so much. It was like nuts. Because the problem is like people would buy us shots before, during, and after the show.
Wow.
And so it was just cacophony. But it was like, it's amazing. We were younger, so that helped.
Yeah.
But it was like, it was pretty nuts. That the band actually had to tell me one time to go, you need to slow down.
Oh, wow. So
Yeah.
even they came to you and said, we're drinking a lot, but Brett,
You're the worst.
You really need to bring it down.
You need to show up and just have Guinness. that was the big
Here,
penalty.
they give you a whole bottle of kefir right here. Drink a yogurt drink, dude.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was like, and we were just so energetic. I mean, it was such a lively show. I'm surprised because usually when you're like more energetic and stuff like that, and you have Jameson or any of the whiskeys or something like that, you're going to be feeling it a lot harder. But we burned it off.
Wow. I mean, you didn't.
We stayed in shape because we were just like jumping around,
Right.
and like crowd surfing and doing all that nutty stuff,
Right.
And
You were just sweating all the alcohol out of you, I guess.
I think we were, yeah.
Yeah.
Those 3-hour shows down in San Diego when it was in the back. It was the back of the bar, and you would take these breaks every hour, and we would just go out because it was right by the ocean, and we just go out to the ocean and just dunk our heads in the ocean.
Wow.
to
And then-
cool down,
And then come back? Wow.
that was great. That was kind of neat. That was a great little neat thing to do.
Right. So then you had to be really drunk to even go into the ocean. You didn't go in there and thinking, oh, there's all these stonefish and creepy crawlers, because you were totally drunk.
No, I can't believe it. Yeah. I guess I didn't. It was something about hearing the ocean and hearing those waves crash at night,
Yeah.
and it was all very soothing and cool.
It
and the
is.
sun wasn't burning you.
Okay.
And you just get to go dunk your head. And it
Nice.
was like so nice.
It is nice.
And I guess you're too also exhausted
Yeah.
because we're playing at breakneck speed,
Yeah.
and so like
I saw you guys.
yeah, so we were playing so fast that you're just like you don't have time to think. So
Right.
it's kind of like put your head in the ocean, and then I could have been hit by something dangerous in the ocean.
You know, maybe you can go back there and maybe like in the next maybe reinvention of Brett Pearsons, maybe rediscover the ocean again.
Okay,
Maybe you need
you
to.
are a big advocate for getting back into the
I
ocean.
think it's good for the human soul. I think it's soul food. I really do.
Okay,
You know, we came from the ocean, and I think when you reconnect with the ocean, I think it's good for your psyche.
okay.
I'm not saying you have to become a diver and snorkel and stuff. Just stick your head in.
Just so you know, the radio play also
Yes.
a lot of ocean themes.
No kidding.
No kidding
I'm
at all.
down. It's going to make people feel soothed. It will be a soothing
Soothed
thing.
or unsettling?
But I think both. It'll be very, very soothing, unsettling.
Do you know what a waterphone
It'll be
is?
unsoothing.
Do you know what a waterphone is?
I do know what waterphone is.
I have one, and that was the main instrument
You're using
for
it as
it.
part of the soundscape. Very nice. It's a very soothing sound.
It can be soothing. It's
It can.
so interesting. We come from such a different.
Because I have a friend that plays it, and it's really cool.
It's so beautiful, and they do the bow, and
Yeah.
also it's percussive too.
Right. It can be percussive.
Yeah, it's so wow, but soothing.
You should make it soothing.
I will try to make it soothing. All right, This is a new direction.
Okay, try it. Maybe in some of the scenes. We'll see.
Oh yeah, well you can't. You can also overuse it.
Yes, you can.
Because that thing is just like, it's like once you hear it, you go, oh my gosh, it's amazing. But then you go, oh yeah, I've heard that before. Good, it's enough. It's the person at the party that keeps coming up to you and keeps talking to you and telling you the same joke. No
Right.
more knock jokes.
Yes.
I don't need it anymore.
Oh, would you look at the time? I have to go. You don't want that.
knock. Who's
Yeah.
that clock? Tick tock.
Yes. Yeah,
Then
you don't want your audience listening going, oh, I've heard episode 5 now. Oh, I'm good.
Yeah. He's going.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't need 4 more of these.
Well, my wife is she records it and she's producing it,
Okay.
and so like we always have these listening parties to go like, hey, what do you think? And she goes, turn down the music, less waterphone. So she's always like, editing me down.
Nice.
Which is good.
It is
'Cause that's
good.
what you need. Otherwise, I'm a bit too much.
Yeah, I understand. Well, also, you can't be objective after a while, so.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. It's you're constantly listening, going like, I don't even know if this is any good.
Of course, that's normally it. You're so in it, and it's such a part of your mental space. You think about it all the time that you get to the point where you realize, I think this is really awful.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's just like
with anything, you know.
Yeah, and I remember this piece I just recorded a couple nights ago, and I'm like going, I don't know if it works. Usually I can listen to it at night and go, it's okay, and then listen to it during the day. I've waited 2 days to go, I'm going to listen to it again. And it's a quick Foley thing.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of windows shutting.
Right.
But it pans across the entire spectrum. But I'm like, I add a little music tone to it. I'm like, maybe that'll work, or give a little extra oomph, or I don't know. So I'm going to listen to it tonight.
Okay.
And see what the thing is.
Well, you know what? However long the process takes, I mean, even though you have a deadline, you want it to come out in October, but even if it needs longer, you know, the one thing that's good about being an indie artist is that you can take as long as you want and make it really, really good.
Yes, but it's hard for me to do that.
Oh, you need a deadline for yourself?
I need to have a deadline. Otherwise, it just turns into, and then it's like, 2030, and you're going like, hey, whatever happened to that thing? That's right. I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah.
I need to have hard outs because I'm a procrastinator.
Okay. Oh, okay. No, we don't want it out 2030.
No.
It should be 2024.
It's 2024. It's October.
Okay.
It's Halloween.
Oh, of course.
So that's the idea.
Is that is episode 1 going to debut on Halloween?
I don't know. It's going to be around there. We'll figure out more once we get, because we're going to have a visual aspect to it.
Oh.
This is my wife. She has an idea about,
Is this going to be like a short film or?
No, she just wants to have like, do you know how they have like, they say like, hey, I think my hallway's haunted. And so they're just like, I have a set camera and then a door shuts or something like that.
Right.
So we want to have little things like that.
I see.
And then try to incorporate into the storylines of some things that are happening. And release those to give it kind of visual component.
I see.
To give it a short interest to go, oh, and then like bait and switch.
I see.
And then this is just an audio thing.
I see.
So
this
that's
is
the
so
plan.
cool. Good luck. I mean, right now, this is July 1st.
Yeah.
So you've got basically, 3.5 months. Good luck, man.
Thank
Good
you very
luck.
much.
I can't
Thank
wait.
you.
The
can't wait to hear
project
it.
is going to be called again?
It's 1968 Blackflower Drive. The basic log line is that it's a small, dying rural town that is saddled with a supernatural murder that they're ill-equipped to solve.
Oh, supernatural murder. Nice.
Yes.
It's
It opens
very,
with
very
a
cool.
crime scene.
Oh.
That they're like, what is this?
Yes.
And they're like, they're country bumpkins. So they don't know how to do it. They don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So how does this small dying town survive?
I see. Cool.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
All right.
Well, in this room, I'm lucky because this room is filled with creative people. And you've got so many things going on. But Max, you've got something I want to get to before part 2 is over.
Oh.
And you, my friend, are writing or creating a book.
I finished the book.
Really?
Yeah.
Is this the announcement?
Sure.
I didn't know it was finished. I thought you were still working on it.
Oh, no,
Let's
it's
talk
done.
about Max Koch's book.
Okay. It's called Max Koch Draws, a Crude Retrospective. As it turns out, Brett wrote the foreword.
No kidding. That
He
doesn't
did.
surprise me.
He
Yes. He told me about it, and I started working on it right away.
Did you
did.
write
And
the
he hasn't
foreword?
even seen the book. He
Oh.
just-
I've seen pieces of it, and
Yeah.
it's amazing. It's glorious.
Well, it's a book. It's a compilation of your life's work of drawings.
Yeah, yeah. So what I did was I decided, to do this thing, and then once it was finished, I'm a zero, so I'm self-publishing, right? So I'm doing it through one of the book publishing sites with the software and everything. So I started sending it out there, and I got to tell you, I sent it out to a few people I felt had some cultural significance that maybe could do a blurb, and I got some incredibly positive feedback that was downright overwhelming. But one of my dear friends, and I'll mention who it actually was later when the book is out, but he said to me, hey, listen, and he's published books. He goes, listen, I read your book, and I got no notes about the content or the writing or the drawings. He goes, I don't even like these drawings. Not my drawings. He goes, I don't even like these kinds of drawings, but I love these drawings. He goes, however, I think you are undermining the power of your book with the way you have laid it out. And I'm like, what? Basically, he doesn't like the font. He doesn't like he is Kubrickian in his mind in so many ways. His attention to detail is staggering. And I actually talked to a few people who know this guy, and they all said the same thing. They agreed with me that his attention to detail is staggering and
Annoying.
Listen, I got mad at him and I cried, but he's right.
Did you change the font?
Well, oh no, I've gone more than that. I'm actually hiring a graphic designer to do the layout.
Oh, wow.
The book's not going to change. It's
I see.
Just a couple pages,
Right.
but
It's more pragmatic stuff.
it's more about layout. It's more about evening the images. It's more about a consistency with some of the frames. I had one image with a purple frame around it and another image with an orange frame around it and one with a black, and they're all different size frames. He goes, it all needs to be consistent. It's such an experience that I feel like you need to really take it up a notch and have a graphic designer do layout. And so then I started to talk to people who actually, I'm trying to get quotes because I'm like, is this going to wind up just an ebook or is it going to be, because I want it to be a hardcover, but that's fucking expensive as fuck.
No kidding.
And I'm learning a lot about making a book. But the gal who I explained the book to said, it's a really good idea that you have a book designer. So I essentially have a book designer that I'm paying right now. I have a little more work to do, and then this book designer, graphic designer fella is going to put everything in a way that's going to make it look so much better. I know this because gratis, he sent me a bunch of pages as a sample of his work.
And you saw it and said, this is much better.
My friend was 100% correct.
Wow.
This is going to be even better.
Cool.
And even more fluid and visually powerful than I would have been able to do on my own. And it's so funny because, yeah, I feel like I'm sitting here with masters, right? But one of the things, and I think I said it to you, Brett, like, God damn it. Am I always just going to be... I'll never be a master. I'm always going to be someone who needs help or assistance or someone who needs to come in and fix it. I'm never going to be a master on my own. I'll never be Stanley Kubrick. I'll never be David Lynch. You know what I mean?
But you're going to be Max Koch.
I'll never be Robert Crumb. I know, but I don't know that I'm ever going to be a master because I'm still on that journey of creativity. But I tell you what, the eating of the critique, the digesting of it, the fact that I had to take 2 weeks away from the book to process how I'm going to get back into it because I thought I was done.
Right.
Sometimes you're never done.
Right.
Brett, you're raising your hand. Go
Yes.
ahead.
So you say and I've heard this before. You say you're not a master, and so because you need assistance. With
Now
your
this is
book,
about you. These episodes.
But this is important to me. So because you need assistance for your book, doesn't mean you're not a master of what you put in there.
Right.
The content is masterful.
Right.
You need someone else to help out. Yeah. Just like if I'm recording an album, I can't play drums, so I need someone else to help me out.
Yeah.
I may be quote master of the bass, but I can't do it alone.
Yeah.
So maybe look at it that way instead of it being like, well, I'm not a master at anything. It's like you're a master at all the content you put in there, all the drawing, all the skill, and the writing and all that. Right. That's all great. You just need some help with the layout.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're not a book designer.
No.
So that's fine.
So you're not a master at that. You're just a master at some things. Yeah. Stanley Kubrick could not do an entire film by himself.
Right.
He can't act it.
And he loves collaborating.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of what's going on here.
And I think all creative people, I mean, I don't even like the term master. Maybe Mozart was a master. We're all perpetual students.
Right.
I consider myself, I'm a lifelong student of music and drumming. Right. I will never be a master. I'm always learning something. Right. Always. And so were you, Max, and so were you, Brett. And completely. It's just, that's part of the journey.
Right.
That's the part of the fun, is that there's always something to learn and get better at. So then, if you do another book, now you're going to have a book designing mentality for the next one.
There you go.
Because you're learning about it.
I am learning.
And I think part of a master is exactly what you're saying. It's like you're still learning.
Always learning.
Because every time I talk to someone who's really an amazing artist, they're always like going, yeah, I know some things.
Right, yeah.
And you go, you know everything. And
no,
they go,
you don't.
no, I still need to know this and this and this. And you go, there's more. It's never-ending journey.
It never ends, man.
Well, I set out to do this book, and when I finished the fucker, that was like finishing something like you were talking about, Brett. You know, I want to finish something not before 2030. I want to reach my deadline.
Yeah.
The deadline has become very important to me. And it's so funny, my friend who really let me have it and ripped me apart in the best possible way about the book, he goes, one of the things he said was, and just to wrap it up, I'm so angry at you for finishing your book long before I was able to. He's been writing a book for 10 years, right? And it's like, hopefully I've inspired him, but I don't know because he's kind of out there, but he's so smart. So, yeah, I feel really good about it. I mean, you got to put in some money to hire a designer, but
you do.
I feel it's going to be, and it may wind up that I pay the designer, and for starters, it's only going to be an ebook while I try to make money to make it a hardcover eventually, you know, which I'd like to do, but I just want the goddamn thing out there.
And when is the deadline?
Well, now the deadline is a little more open because I don't know how long this. I don't think this process is going to take too long.
Okay.
So my hope
That's
is
good.
My hope is that, I mean, definitely before year's end, but I'm really hoping late August, September. But I don't know because I can't define it.
Right.
Because I didn't see this coming.
But at least now you know that you're going to have so much more confidence and so much more respect for this book when it's out in this form now.
Right.
It's gonna come out and you're gonna be so proud of it.
Yeah.
We'll see,
As
man.
opposed
I
to
hope
it coming out and saying, "Oh, I guess I should have had a book designer look at this." You know.
No, but some of the blurbs I've gotten back are some of the most profoundly beautiful things anyone's ever written. You know, about my stuff.
That's really great. I can't wait to see it.
I'll give you an example. I have a very dear friend named Gareth Allen, and he's out in the UK, and he's an artist, and I met him on YouTube, 2007, 2008. Never met this man. But I consider him one of my nearest and dearest. And we have the best back and forths. And he was the first person, you know, I sent the book to because he was the only one really hounding me. Where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the book? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I finished it. Da. And then once I started to tell him about the aesthetic layout, graphic design, font portion of the book, he got it. He knew that it was also the right thing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I'm excited about it, but it's going to come out in 2024.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
That's
what's it
great.
called?
Max Koch Draws a Crude Retrospective. Yeah. It'll be cool.
It's going to be very cool. You got your book, your radio play, the band. You know, I got recordings out now.
Yeah, you
from
do.
The Color Up.
Hours and Minutes, the EPs.
We have 3 EPs coming out.
When's the third one coming?
Third one's coming out probably August.
Can't wait.
Oh, wow. We recorded 9 songs.
We're
during the
all
pandemic.
doing it.
We're all doing our thing.
I'm starving.
Let's go eat. Brett, a million thank yous for coming here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
You're a two-parter kind of guy.
It's very kind.
Thank you.
We have the best time. I tell you what, Brett comes over with his dogs. I've got my 2 dogs. He has his 2 dogs. So we're 2 middle-aged idiots with dogs. And we're drinking, and we're eating, and we're laughing, and we're watching movies and dissecting movies. And then Brett goes, pause! And he gets up and stands, and he starts talking about like the things that he doesn't like about the movie.
Or the things that I like
he does like
about
a
the movie.
pre-movie or a movie in the middle, like a critique.
So we've always
I hated this scene. I hate that scene. I hate that
Yeah,
scene.
everything's been real horror-centric, and it will continue. But like, I presented him Barry Lyndon, and we had such a great talk about it. And then he presented me Christopher Nolan's Tenet, which I really liked. I was like, wow, this is... Have you seen Tenet?
I have not.
Dude, it's wild. But
good
I
time.
see Brett's brain in the movie. He sees my brain in the movie, and we just have a great time. So it was really great to have him come chat again.
Absolutely. I mean, and there will be a third time that you
That's
will be
very
guest.
kind. Thank you very much.
All right,
the
enough.
incomparable Brett Pearsons. Everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging in there with us. And we'll see you next time.
1968 Black Flower Drive. Nice.
Finger snapping.
Oh my God, I'm dizzy.